Welcome everybody to today's AAC Workplace Culture Training. So today, looking at AAC's workplace culture, we're going to talk about the whole philosophy of our workplace culture, expectations versus reality, and how expectations versus reality is one of the greatest problems in life and at work. Our philosophy, how we are totally focused on learning and supporting you. Honesty is an extremely important value. The concept of responsiveness as our primary value in the company. Transparency. And we're going to touch on what is a corporate telework outcomes culture, or what we call at AAC C-TOC. Our workplace culture focuses on attitudes, our behaviors, our beliefs, our interactions, the importance of leadership, tradition, and values. These are all part of AAC's workplace culture. And these contribute to the emotional and relational environment of our workplace. All of these contribute to what is going on in our workplace and how we work. Lori Sullivan, who I'm connected with on LinkedIn, had this amazing quote: "Leadership is about vision and responsibility. It's not about power." And the greatest gift that leadership has is it's a boss who wants you to be successful. And we're always going to be talking about this concept. Is our goal is to be successful. Our goal is for the company to be successful, the entire organization and everyone in it to be successful, and for you as individual employees to be successful. AAC's workplace culture, we very often work with culture and intercultural communication and languages. And again, the greatest problems in life arise when expectations do not match reality. And that goes for life, work, and especially when you're working interculturally, internationally with people from around the world. When the expectations don't match reality, that's when problems arise. But here you can see the cultural iceberg, which many of you may have seen in the past. And the cultural iceberg shows what happens when you start to interact with people from another culture. And what you have is on top, you have what is easily visible: the language, the folklore, the dress, the fine arts, the literature, holidays, food, festivals, etc. And these can be very complex and very different from what you're used to, but they're easily visible, like the top of the iceberg. But most of the problems where the expectations do not match reality occur when you look at what happens underneath the iceberg. The attitudes towards other cultures, aesthetics, family roles, manners, body language, competitiveness, core values, notions of modesty, personal space, work ethics, thought patterns. These are all very difficult to get a firm grasp on immediately, and it takes a lot of time to understand the target culture that you're working with. Again, this is where the problem arises when the expectations doesn't match the reality. Let me give you some examples. Personally, my girlfriend and I, a few years ago, went to Quebec City. And before we went, I told her that we are going to go to a nice, fancy French restaurant, which in the end it was. But when she thought about that, her expectation was this: a silver container for wine, an old-fashioned menu, and French art, above her head. The realities were somewhat different. And I have to stop and say, the meal was absolutely fabulous. but there was a little problem in the beginning because the expectations did not match the reality. And the reality was, when the wine came, it came in a ketchup can. This is the picture that I took of the wine in the ketchup can. The menu was like a new age piece of art. You can see the red menu here on the wall. And behind my head were these two paintings, not exactly French classic art. Again, the meal was fabulous, but there was a problem right in the beginning when the expectations didn't match reality. And since we work with people from cultures all over the world, what I like to ask very often to audiences is, when people go abroad, what do you think is one of the most interesting intercultural encounters they first have? And when you ask this question, you come up with a lot of different answers. People very often talk about how money looks different, or the smells of the culture is different, or the food is different, and the language is different, and the way customs people treated me was different, etc. But the reality is that one of the first intercultural encounters you have is you need to go to the restroom. And for many, this is where the expectation may not match the reality. And that can cause some problems. I've lived in Asia for 14 years of my life, and I know when some people come to Asia for the very first time and they get in certain situations and they walk into the restroom and they see this, that causes them some anxiety. And the reason why is because the expectation doesn't match the reality. And in the Japanese context, this is how you use this type of restroom. And again, it causes problems because the expectation did not match the reality. And our goal is always to bridge those gaps between expectations and reality. Again, at AAC's Workplace Culture, we focus on expectations and realities because this is where we've seen that projects have problems when the expectations don't match the reality. And again, our goal is to find any gaps and bridge those gaps between the expectation and reality. And how do we do that? Well, we're clarifying what you'll need to be doing by giving you updates, and more updates. And we're going to try to clearly define what's going on in our working relationships. What are your duties? What are the expectations for this week? And we're going to do that by effective and efficient communication. Our philosophy. Our philosophy is extremely simple. We like to have fun and get things done. And I repeat, we like to have fun and get things done. Many people actually hate their jobs. And many people actually think that jobs cannot be fun. But at AAC, we're the opposite. We feel that jobs can be fun, and when they're fun, you actually work harder, you're more effective, more efficient, and you are viewed as a valuable person to the organization. And we want you to love to come to work and show how valuable you are to the organization and how you're valuable to helping our success and helping us move forward in an effective and efficient manner. I'm connected with several people on LinkedIn, and this is another person from Nairobi, Kenya. And she talked to me about mistakes and learning. And she gave me this quote, which I think is extremely powerful. Always remember that mistakes are way better than doing nothing. A mistake is a stepping stone. And that's what we feel at AAC, and we're very proud of this. Everyone makes mistakes. I make mistakes every single day. You all make mistakes every single day. But it just is important to look at how these mistakes can help us learn to move forward, to gain more competencies, to increase our skills, to become more effective and efficient. At AAC, we realize the powerful importance of these mistakes, and mistakes are an essential part of learning. Learning and support. Our culture is to train and support you so you have the skills and competencies to succeed. We realize that you're intelligent human beings, and if you fail, the reason why is because we didn't support you. You'll have the support of the leadership, and you'll have support of the coworkers, all the way from working with me, all the way up to the CEO. And as we proceed, you're going to learn how to do things faster and better. And trust me, you will achieve high standards when working with AAC. Honesty and respect. Employees need to be honest with managers. Leadership needs to be honest with employees. You have to have this open relationship where if something is going on and you need to tell us because you're not able to do something this week in order to be successful and effective and efficient, you need to be honest with us. If something is going on with the leadership at the company, we too need to be honest with you. It's a culture of mutual respect between management and staff. And this shared respect is something that is extremely important for you to be valued. And what this does is it gives you a true sense of being valued. And as in any relationship, a personal relationship, a relationship with the teacher or the student or the employer and the employee, when you have a true sense of being valued, you will work harder, you'll work better, you'll be more effective and efficient. Responsiveness. Responsiveness is one of the primary concepts of working at AAC, and we're going to have another training about responsiveness on its own, but this is an extremely important concept, an extremely important idea that's critical to be successful in our work environment. Timelines are important, and you need to be responsive to the timelines. Clear communication is essential. But what's important to know is that responsiveness is, as we say, a two-way street. You need to be responsive to your team and management will, I repeat, will be responsive to you. Responsiveness is the top priority at AAC. I cannot talk about this more, and you will learn a lot more about it as we move forward. Transparency. As you can see in this visual, transparency is key to building trust in business. We need to have transparency between management and employees. And what this transparency does is it creates a positive culture which impacts the productivity and performance of everybody and makes the business much more effective, efficient, and fun and enjoyable. What we're going to talk about now is within our responsiveness culture is the overall concept of what we call here corporate telework outcomes culture, or sometimes we call it C-TOC. It's not TikTok, it's C-TOC. And in a corporate telework outcomes culture, our projects, we work remotely. You do not come into an office every day. In the corporate telework outcomes culture, we're not watching over you. And in a corporate teleworks outcome culture, we only focus on outcomes. Again, we are a corporation. We're doing telework. We focus only on outcomes. And this is the culture that we have at AAC. It's extremely important to know that we don't care when you work. We don't care where you work. We actually, in most cases, don't care how you work. As long as you're doing the job correctly, effectively, and efficiently, we only focus on outcomes. So again, the corporate telework outcome culture, C-TOC, is our primary focus at AAC. So just to review AAC's workplace culture, these key concepts. You understand what our workplace culture is. You understand that we focus on and value bridging the gaps between expectations and reality. You understand that our philosophy, our key philosophy, is to have fun and get things done. In order to do that, we need to focus on you learning and support you to learn throughout the entire process of being with us. We have to be honest with you. You need to be responsive and focus on the concept of responsiveness with us. We all need to be transparent with each other, and we need to understand the key concepts related to the corporate telework outcomes culture, is that we focus on outcomes only. We don't watch over you. You don't have to come to an office, but we do look at your outcomes. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a good day.